Hey guys, it's EDDBUD here, and I'm back with a slightly odd versus video for you. Probably two shoes you haven't quite considered being in the same pigeonhole, the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2 and the New Balance FuelCell Rebel. I found that those FuelCell Rebels that I purchased recently have got some similarities across a whole different cross-section of shoes. So I'm going to try and convey some of those opinions and some of those experiences and feelings to you, my viewers. I'll get this out the way first. I have to be honest, I'm feeling quite under the weather. Got myself a bit of a head cold, which is absolutely perfect. 2 days before I'm going to try and do a sub 1 hour 30 half marathon. You just can't write this stuff, guys, literally. I've been feeling really great for a long time. Suddenly, just a couple of days before, I start to feel really bad. Running a bit of a temperature. That aside, I'll still be there on Sunday running that half marathon, regardless of how I feel. I'll still be there, I'll still be doing it. Whether a 1 hour 30's on the cards, I don't know. I think I'd struggle to get round at the moment, in fairness, but I'll certainly be giving it a shot. It's not affected my throat too much, so I'm going to give the video a shot today. So the more I've worn the FuelCell Rebels over the last week or so, the more and more I'm finding there are similarities between them and lots of other shoes. One of those such shoes is the Pegasus Turbo line. Now, I've got the Pegasus Turbo 2 here, but those eagle-eyed viewers, those of you who follow me on Strava, have probably noticed recently that I've been utilising the Pegasus Turbos, Pegasus 35 Turbos, quite a bit recently. I bought them out of a retirement. Kind of sounds like I've put them in some home or something. I've gone and rescued them. Kind of reminds me of the A-Team, you know, when they used to go and rescue Murdoch from the sort of mental institution that they put him into. And there were all these bizarre methods that they used to, you know, break him out. It's really weird. Need to watch some more A-Team. I love the A-Team. I love it when a plan comes together. Plan's not coming together with this though. Can't even breathe out of my nose. How's this going to work? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm sure I'll be absolutely fine. So really bringing the Pegasus Turbos out of retirement. Wanted to pair them up against the Rebels and see if those feelings that I had that they were similar were true, or that it was just all in my mind. You might be surprised by my observation, but please hear me out. So in terms of performance and feel at pace, I do feel that these shoes have some similar characteristics. There's a nice wider foot base on both of these shoes. The foam and the thermoplastic unit in the FuelCell Rebels certainly does give me that similar kind of feeling that I get from wearing the Pegasus Turbos. There's a similar springy response to the feeling that you get from utilising the Pegasus Turbos with that ZoomX and React sandwich in the midsole. In terms of pacing, both of these shoes really do favour up-tempo work, and they're very, very capable of undertaking interval type training. I think you could probably use both of these shoes if you wanted to race a half marathon. I don't see any reason why not. There's enough structure there for that half marathon, but I think I'd probably shy away from utilising them in anything past that, personally. They're certainly very light. The Rebel clocks in at about 225 grams, and when I weighed up the Pegasus Turbo 2, that comes in at around about 250 grams. I'll throw the ounces up on there because I know that people like those conversions. I like conversions too, I love it. I sometimes forget to put them in. I'm very sorry about that. So those viewers that have commented recently, I'll try my best to do weight and kilometre conversions for you. I think past 13.1 miles, I'd worry a little bit about the structure of the Rebels. For me, it's a faster paced shoe over shorter distances. I find that the Pegasus Turbo 2 is actually a little bit more rigid. Certainly in the heel counter, there's a really nice kind of structured heel counter here, and you get a fantastic lockdown on top of the forefoot with that cool lacing system here. Is it really cool? I don't think it's cool. Oh, I sound so like a dad, don't I? Hey, it's cool. I'm sure if my daughter would look at this, she wouldn't think this is cool. No, not at all. She'd just say that there's some slightly different lace eyelets here. It wouldn't be cool. It's cool to me. And that's what counts, right? So in terms of traction, I've utilised these shoes on roads, on some sort of light trails, some more sort of soil-based trails, really. They've worked really well, actually, the Pegasus Turbos. I think that these shoes are hugely underrated in terms of their versatility. I really love this shoe, actually, now I think about it. I've kind of missed not running in it, where I've been testing out the Carbon X recently, also utilising the beacons. I've been wearing the Zoomfly 3. I really miss this shoe. I can't wait to get this back on soon, once this half marathon training block's done. I have found that the outsole on the Rebels actually is starting to take a little bit of a beating already. There's some considerable holes and things. I've had some thorns and stuff stuck in to the exposed kind of midsole section of the shoe. So I think that durability could possibly be a bit of a problem if you're going to use them on a more trail style area. Obviously they're meant as a road shoe really, road and pavements for this. But thus, if we're comparing the two, as we are in this video, I certainly think the Pegasus Turbo outsole is more durable. I mean, there's a good 100 miles on this one. The original black pair that I have, there's about 200 miles and there's barely any wear. I do know Graham Still from the Yeovil Town Road Running Club, he had some Pegasus Turbos and he really found that they wore down really quickly. So I think if you do overpronate a little bit, it could be a bit of an issue. I think testament to my running gait really and the improvements in it, that there's very little wear at all on the edges here. This one's looking really good. That side, there's a good 40-50 pounds difference between these two shoes. I know that there's a grey pair of the Pegasus Turbo 2s currently on the Nike store for sale. I'm not quite sure why only the grey ones are for sale. People not like grey. They're kind of very slate grey as well. They look really nice. You know, they can't understand why they're for sale. But maybe if you get in there quickly, you can pick them up. There's a crazy deal on those right now. I think training wise I've waxed lyrical enough about the Pegasus Turbo 2 and how much I've enjoyed running in it, how I feel it's a great shoe. Whether I continue to feel quite that good about the New Balance FuelCell Rebel, I'm not too sure. There's certainly some good initial impressions. It will remains to be seen whether I still have those positive feelings about it as the miles begin to rack up. Speed wise, it certainly feels better and better as you get faster and faster in this shoe. As I started to do some higher paced intervals, my foot did start feeling a little bit warm in this though. I've tried it with loads of different pairs of socks now. Some of my Stance Tab socks, which are a little thicker, and the thinner Nike racing socks. Certainly within the Stance ones they did start to get warm, so I think this knit's not quite as breathable as that found on the Zoomfly Flyknit. The original version of the Pegasus Turbo 2, in terms of the upper, I found that to be a little warm actually. It wasn't quite as breathable as the upper on the Peg Turbo 2. This one's a little bit more forgiving from that respect. Although that aside, we are now into the fall, we're into autumn, so is having a more breathable upper a good thing? It's never nice having cold feet, is it, when you're out there running? It's one of the worst things in the world actually. If you're feeling uncomfortable, you never really get the best performance or the best kind of feeling from your run. Sometimes you're just out there, aren't you? You want to go out and have a nice run, just enjoy the miles, kind of get some miles in under your belt. But if you're not feeling great from the off, then that's not a good thing. So I certainly see the Rebel as that faster, up-tempo shoe. And at the moment, the Turbo really does occupy that category for me. I did anticipate the Zoomfly 3 perhaps pushing the Pegasus Turbo 2 off its perch, but obviously initial impressions were it's got a very heavy upper and a very dense midsole, and that weight just really doesn't make it a particularly comfortable shoe to me. I think if you're on a tighter budget, then the New Balance FuelCell Rebel could be a real winner for you. It's a bit of a cross between the Zoomfly Flyknit in terms of its upper, the Pegasus Turbo in terms of its midsole responsiveness. It has a New Balance beacon-like feel about it in terms of the inner part, and it certainly has the light nature of the Turbo. Do look out for my 100-mile review on this in the very near future. I don't think it's going to be too long before I get to 100 miles in this one. A bit of an amendum to my previous videos on the New Balance FuelCell Rebel. This section here on the outsole, as pointed out by some of my fantastic viewers, is in fact a thermoplastic unit. It is not a carbon plate. There's lots and lots of odd information about this shoe that kind of doesn't really tie up. But certainly for me, it's been a pleasant shoe to run in. I think that's the most important thing, rather than all this high-tech, newfangled jargon. But if you were confused at all, I do give you my sincerest apologies. Too much coffee, that's what it is. Too much coffee and cold medicine. Yes, it's not a good vibe when you're feeling a bit rough. So that just about wraps up the video for today. Please give me the thumbs up on this one. Hit the subscribe button down in the corner here if you haven't done already. Comment below. And please do share this video with other runners or people that might like shoes. My name's EDDBUD and I'll be seeing you.